In this episode, which is episode 30 of The Living Word, I'm going to be doing all kinds of random words, and I'll try to do them one after another and not rant. Because just as I did the last Game of Names volume for a while, this is going to be the last Living Word for a while, until there's a reason to do more. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I'll be doing something to try to put forth truth. Either way, the first word here is the word nerd. Now, I know it's not important, but you'll see what I'm saying about how many words, if you just talk them in a childish way, they make more sense. Like if you say, I knew it, you say, I nerd. And that's not really why it's that, but notion, or actively to and from, actively dia, 14, n, that notion, expressed reference, dia, to and from. R-E, when you see it in that position with the R first, that means to do again. Re, if you don't have to do it again, it means you already expressed the reference. N, followed by ER, means notion expressed reference. And then D is dia, or to and from. You could go along with that stereotype idea of the pocket protector, glasses with the tape on it, or a pencil on the ear. That kind of nerd. Somebody who knows a lot. And there's nothing wrong with knowing a lot, especially if you know a lot about helping people and things that make sense and correspond with nature. But if you're a person who knows everything about history and knows everything you were taught like a good little boy or girl, then that's what I would consider the derogatory way of being a nerd, because all you did was learn a bunch of stuff. Look around nature. That's what we need to learn. I was using that word nerd, like I said, even though it's not important, because the next video I'm doing is called Food Stuff, and it's basically everything to do with food, and it will open your eyes. So I hope you keep listening and stay tuned to this channel. I'll move on to the next word. Now for a word, as silly as this sounds, I used to always tell people, don't say that 3 times or I'll lose my cool. The word portfolio used to always drive me nuts. Just look at the word, and P is placement, piece, or potential. Because it's 16, you could say active, form, force, or familiar. So we just say potential, ongoing reference, plus form, force, or familiar, ongoing, as it lie, identified, ongoing. So it's the potential ongoing reference plus a form ongoing, as it lie, identified ongoing. So if you're the piece, placement, or potential, ongoing reference, whatever you've put together as a plus, form, force, or familiar, ongoing, as it lie, identified, ongoing. So it's all the stuff you've put together. Do you see how that makes sense? I know I said it a few times in a row, but that's because I want to get it in your head to see how these things are. You have a POR plus an FOL. We have R, which is on the right side, and L, which is on the left side. We have P, which is intense, 1, 6, 16, and F, which is 6 in once. Do you see how it goes from POR to FOL? It's like what you've put together and now have your portfolio. I had to include that one because I had to get over my own personal issue with a stupid word. So we'll move on. While I'm on words that sort of get me a little riled as an individual, we'll do the word kingdom. Now, if you're using the word kingdom as just what the whole world is, we could say the kinetic identified notion generated and grouped to and from or dia, the ongoing manifestation. Everything that's happening here is actively active or kinetic, identified notion generated and grouped to and from dia, ongoing manifestation. That's a kingdom. But when someone tries to rule it, that is completely off. Nobody's meant to rule the kingdom. It's literally the most ridiculous thing for anyone to think that one person should have the power to tell you how everyone acts and how everyone's expected to be. We've got to do that and develop that within ourselves. Being this is the last one for a while for Living Words, I'm also going to do some just very random ones to show you the variety of random words that it always applies for. I've done enough names. Of course, there will be more in the future. But anyway, we'll move on to something as simple as when someone makes the sound sh, S-H-H, subjected here, upon itself. Sh. Don't be so loud. Don't make it so that anyone can hear it. Subject. Shh. Subject. Here upon itself. See how that is? Shh. That's that. Now, something as silly as the word skivvy. A lot of people don't even know what a skivvy is. It's a tight undershirt for men, supposedly. I mean, anyone can wear a skivvy, but it's supposed to be a men's undershirt or underwear because it's the subject, kinetic, identified, vital upon itself, vitally identified. So it's tight against your skin. It's vital upon itself. 2 V's, S-K-I-V-V-Y. When you're skinny, S-K-I-N-N, within this space, vitally identified, you're skinny. Subject, kinetic, identified. 2 N's is that notion upon itself or in that space, vitally identified. That's what you are, skinny. Then the word space, it's subject, in place, active, constant to itself or unseen expression. You're in your own space, but everything outside you is also in its own space. So it's the subject, in place or potential, active, constant to itself or unseen expression. When you have a space between the word, it's unseen, but you can see the space. When you have a space between words like that, there was a space there, but you didn't see it. So therefore, it's unseen but constant to itself. Space is always constant to itself. And like I've said in other videos, why are we so busy looking out into space? We don't even know our own bodies, which is our space shape. We happen to be on a big thing called a planet, or whatever we want to actually call it. Who cares? It's a thing that we live on, and it happens to be surrounded by a thing that we call atmosphere and sky. So let's just say that we're in space. Wherever we are, we're filling space. We're occupying space. So that's what space is. Subject, placement or potential, active, constant to itself or unseen expression. Because you can give me space or you can be floating in space. Let's do a couple, like landscape. It's the landscape, what it's wearing. Okay? But now put it all together as one word. It's not just land, and it's not just a cape or a scape. It's a landscape. As it lies, activated notion, to and from or dia, subject, constant to itself, active, placement or potential expression. Oh, so if it's as it lies, active notion, to and from itself, dia, subject, constant to itself, active, in place expression, that's the landscape. The landscape. See how simple everything is. That's an easy one, but every word is that easy. When you really truly understand there is a purpose here and things actually mean something. You can't just make up the meanings. They're actual and they're real. Not the way most people think real is. They have divine meaning, and I'm teaching it. How about some words like play, place, and pause? When you play, it's that potential or placement, as it lie, active, vitally identified. When you vitally identify something and it's a potential as it lie active, that's called play. When you say place, now that placement or potential as it lie, active, constant to itself, expressed. That's the place you're at. When we say pause, P-A-U-S-E, that means placement or potential active, and then you being unanimous. So it's just activated. It's just being noticed. It's a placement active. You is also 21, so it's 2-1 based active. So it's placement active, based active as a subject expression. So it's just active as it is. It's just poof, in place. It's there. Placement active. That's the unit we're talking about as a subject expressing. Where we pause, stop for a second, or stay still, in place, active, unit. AU is to augment or to be an active thing as it is. When it's a U, it's a unit. So it's a placement active unit. It's just something is active and it's underlying as a subject expressed. Hopefully you get what I mean by that, because I'm trying to use words to explain actions in space. And that's the best way that we can learn to communicate, is to actually know what we mean when we say it. Instead of being like, well, I've heard these words and I just say them, blah, 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 blah. We've got to know what we mean. Because if we don't, we're just going around giving out some weird message that we don't even understand. I understand what I'm saying. I'm just trying so hard to put it in words for other people who haven't really had the experience of beyond this world. And I know just using words and talking doesn't seem all profound to people because they want to see mystical, magical stuff like on TV. But that's not what we're here for. Oddly enough, this is magic that we are experiencing.
every moment of every day. We just take out the idea of a notion of expression. It's just manifested, active, generated and grouped, identified concept, or constant to itself. So when you pull something to you and you call it a notion expressed plus, it's a magnet. But when it's manifested, active, generated and grouped, identified concept, it can be unseen sometimes. And most people are there because they don't have their eye open. And I'm here to wipe all that sleepiness out of your eyes. And I can help you, but you've got to want to do it. That is definitely what we need right now.
I'm excited to move on to the next series of videos that I'm going to do, so I'm just going to whip through a bunch of words in a row and finish this so I can take a break on living words just like I'm doing with Game of Names. First, I'm going to do deficit, deposit, lame, lathe, and lazy. Deficit. Dia, or to and from, expressed, form, force, or familiar, identified, unseen concept or constant to itself, identified, plus. When you deface something, but you identify with what's being defaced, you feel like you're at a deficit. It's basically the word deface it. And it's also got face, as in sacrifice. You feel like you're at a loss of something. To or from, expressed, form, force, familiar, identified, unseen concept or constant to itself, identified, plus. So then you move into deposit. Since F was the sixth letter, we have deposit with a P, that's the 16th letter. It's intense. Dia, to or from, expressed, potential or placement, ongoing subject, identified plus. It's not a depot where things come and go with a T right at the end of DEPO. It's a depot where the dia expressed, potential, ongoing subject identifies plus. So you're going to put a deposit somewhere. We bastardize our language by saying, hey, I'm going to go take this deposit to the bank. What we really should be saying is, I'm going to take this cash or this money or this thing to go deposit it. But we like to cut corners, and that's fine because most of us do understand what we mean. Some people don't. So literally the word depot is the depot where something sits. Whether it's money being deposited or if you have a calcium deposit or something in your body, that's what it is. It's a depot, subject identified plus. That's what a deposit is. Now, the word lame. As it lie, active. Manifest the expression of that idea. As it lie, activated. Okay, you're just as it lie, active. That's it. Manifest that expression. Lame. That sounds pretty lame to me, doesn't it? Now, change that M into a TH. If you want something to stay still or lay there, but you don't have a reference yet to be expressed, a lathe is a machine that holds wood, metal, plastic, objects, things like that in place. So somebody can cut and use tools on them while they stay in place, while they lay there. And it's literally as it lie, active, plus here express. Lathe. Do you see how that is? Now, same as those other words, lazy, as it lie, active, from one side to the other, vitally identified. Other people notice that you just lay around. Active, that's it, you just lay around. Activated, that idea of laying around. Lay, active, from one side to the other, vitally identified. See what I mean? Lazy. Just like Lazarus died and came back. Lays, arise. See how simple this stuff is? Instead of getting mad at me for explaining things to you for what they mean instead of what a lot of people have been confused about, makes no sense. Maybe the people who taught you didn't know. And if that's the case, that really sucks. Move on. Forgive them. If they did know, which could be the case, that's horrible. But let it go and quit looking into and studying things that don't matter. Be here in the world and pay attention to the things that actually matter to your life. Ha! Imagine that! Isn't that a good idea? This will be the last group of words for this video, and I'm hoping that you can obviously see what I've been explaining for a long time, and I'm using these specific words to show you how it can say the same sound like batter and batter, like a batter for a baseball game, and pancake batter. When you beat something, B-E-A-T, that's the base expressing active plus. When you beat something or you're listening to the beat. Now, when you say batter, you're base, active, two T's in place, plus plus, expressed reference. I'm the batter when the ball comes. Or you can stand in one place and base, active, TT in place, 4D, expressed reference, and beat the batter. See how that is? When you mix batter, you're beating it because it's right in front of you. Base, active, plus plus, expressed reference upon itself, the plus plus. Now, when you say batter,
as in B-A-D-D-E-R, you're saying B, then A. The second letter before the first letter. You're saying base active, to and from itself, upon itself, express reference. So when you're just getting off the ground and you're at base level and you're adding to it, that's what bad means. Base level, add. Base, add. Bad. Now, base, adder. If you're one of those people who's trying to say, well, that's not always what it means, but it is what it means, honestly. Yes, it is. If it's badder than something else, it means that you're adding to the idea of its base level. Base, adder. Base, active, dia, or to and from, upon itself, expressed reference. How about battery? B-A-T-T-E-R, vitally identified. So we have base, active, plus plus in place because a battery is its base level. And it has to have energy in it, so it's base, active, plus plus, expressed reference, vitally identified. Battery. See how you can have a battery for your phone. You can have a salt in battery. It's like beating, but vitally identified. You ended up getting caught for battery to another person. Now how B then A is batter. Now B then E is better. A is the activation point, and E is the expressing point. We say base expressed plus plus expressed reference. So you're expressing a plus plus. You're not just active plus plus in place upon itself. You're expressing to the thing upon itself expressed reference. Do you see how batter and then better all make sense when you understand what letters mean? This applies to everything, everyone. Since these are the last few videos I want to do for these series for a while, until I actually have some people interacting besides 3, I'm going to leave it at that. And I truly wish you all the best, and you'll hear from me soon. It's time to get serious. I love you all. Peace.